Hello, everyone. I'm here with this wonderful gentleman, Jason Brooker. Jason's a remedial therapist. He has a diploma in remedial therapy. He's also a qualified AromaTouch instructor. And there's not much he doesn't know about using doTERRA essential oils. So we're going to be doing a demonstration tonight. So welcome, Jason.
Thank you. All righty.
Leave it to you.
Well, thank you for that. And I just got to admit another person in as we're going. We'll try and do that from the screen here. And yeah, so tonight we would like to look at what I do in the clinic when I am doing a massage and what oils we actually use and whereabouts on the person. So what I've done, we've got a pair of shoes here at this end, and we've got a hat at this end to make it obvious where and who and what we're actually doing. So as I go through this, most of these oils can be used just about anywhere on the human body. But what I want to just share with you is when a client comes in, try and work out what their needs are and the best way that we can actually go through that. Because people come up to me and say, you know, why not just use ice blue for everything? Well, you pretty much can. Well, why not just use past tense for everything? Well, pretty much can. But when we start looking at what the human body needs and why I use these in different places at different times is what we really want to look at tonight. So first of all, what I'd like to start off with is frankincense. Now, frankincense is the go-to for just about everything when it comes to giving someone an oil for their need. It covers everything from inflammation to headaches to the cell reconstruction. All of those sorts of things is the benefit for it. So where I tend to use this, if a client comes in and they're saying, I've got a headache, I've been looking at a screen all day, and what tends to happen is your head, what we call railway tracks, it tilts forward like that, and it puts all this strain through the back of the neck. And because their eyesight is working on the screen all the time, they get a headache. So what I tend to do is, this is where I'll bring it in and I'll massage it. There's a little soft bit of tissue, if you feel just above your ears, there's a soft bit just there, up in the back of the neck, in that area, that little soft bit of tissue there is where there's like a hole in the skull, and it easily penetrates into that area and around the crown. And that's where I tend to use frankincense. Now, I'll put 4 different oils out today. We've got frankincense, we've got lemongrass, we've got marjoram, and down here we're going to look at shortly oregano. Putting the 4 of those together and actually taking them internally is a great way also to help with inflammation. Now, this is what we call the inflammation bomb. Remembering oregano is an extremely hot oil, so if you're going to take it internally, understand what you're dealing with, and if you want to do that, talk to whoever put you onto this call tonight, or talk to me when you watch this on YouTube. So we're going to cover those oils tonight on top of what we've got here. Another way with frankincense, you can put it on your thumb and rub it on the palate of your mouth to help with that inflammation around the brain. But tonight we're mainly looking at what we do in massage, and that's the beauty of this particular oil. We can massage it anywhere through the body for inflammation, but we have got other oils that work really well with frankincense, and we're going to cover that tonight. So let's go back down to the bottom now. We're pulling out the oregano or oregano, depending on where you come from. Remembering this is one of our 5 very hot oils. And this is why we don't use it in massage through the body, but we can rub it onto the bottom of our feet. Now, the beauty of oregano or oregano is that it can absorb up through the feet. And this is something I like to put on the bottom of my feet a couple of times a month before I go to bed. I rub it onto the bottom of my feet. I put it into a roller bottle and then roll it onto the bottom of my feet. And that really helps with the restless legs, the aches and pains through your legs. But it is also a very good antibiotic and it's also a parasite, can help with killing off parasites. Remembering, because it's hot and it works on those things, don't use it every day of the week, because we have in our gut, we've got good and bad bacteria. If you use it for too long, it can affect the bacteria in the gut. So I like to put that on the bottom of my feet. Not something I use a lot in massage, but I recommend that, just personally doing that on your feet of a night. Now, as we move up through the body, the next one I like to use, and I use this from basically from the feet, I can use it right up to the hip area of the body, and that's our ice blue rub. Now, the reason why I like to use this, it's a really good oil that can glide onto the client as you're massaging them. Now, this has got wintergreen in it. Wintergreen is what we call salicylate. Salicylate helps with blood flow, getting the blood moving, and that's the beauty of this particular oil. Now, on top of that, it's got things like peppermint, which stimulates the blood flow. It's got helichrysum in it, so it actually helps hold the oil in and around the muscle area. Now, remembering our calf muscles are what we call our second heart. Our heart stimulates and flows the blood around. When you exercise, the calf muscles are actually what pumps the blood around the human body. Okay, so as we do the exercise, that's what really helps. Alongside of that, it's got Roman chamomile in it, chamomile cream, and then it's also got a capsicum type of oil in there as well, which actually helps stimulate and gets that heat, and the peppermint gives that cooling effect. Now, whether it needs to get stimulation happening is the peppermint. The chamomile helps with the cooling effect. The chili or capsicum gets that heating effect in it. And that's the beauty of that. Now, we're going to talk about helichrysum further on as we go up the line. So remember, we've got helichrysum in this one, which holds the oil and holds the cream to that area to help with that lactic acid buildup, to help with the stimulation of those muscles. Now, in that cream, we can get it in a straight oil. Anyone 2 o'clock in the morning feels like they've been shot in the back of the leg with a cream. This takes a few minutes to get into the bloodstream. This takes seconds to get into the bloodstream. That's the difference between what we've got between the two. So if you've got somebody that comes in and they're always cramping, I put this on first to get it into the muscles, because as soon as people get on the table, all of a sudden they start cramping. Whack this on straight away to release the cramp, then you can actually start doing the massage on the client. And that's the reason why I use this first, and then I layer with this over the top. Okay, so what can we do at home? How can we help each other at home? If the kids get a cramp, put this on. If you've been out in the garden, or you've been fencing, or you've been mowing the lawn or whatever, you put this on before you go out and put it on when you get back home again, or get back inside again. And that's the difference between the two that we've got here. Okay. Now, as we move up the human body, we're now going from the hip area through to the top. Of course, we can use this in the legs, but my preference for the actual roll-on is the fact that it's got copaiba in it. Now, when we understand what we've got in copaiba, is we've got in this stick everything that's in this cream, but copaiba is all to do with the nervous system. The tailbone to the neck, what have we got? It's all a big row of nerves. So now we want the nerves to take this to where the pain is. Okay, so when we've talked about copaiba many times on these classes. Copaiba is over 50% cannabinoids. What do we know about cannabinoids? Well, in the media, we hear a lot about cannabis because it's all about nerve pain. Okay, cannabis is about 24% cannabinoids. This is over 50% cannabinoids in the copaiba. So here we have the ice blue working through the nervous system, and we've got the cannabinoids to transport that through the back as we do it. And the beauty of this is it's in a roller bottle. It does come with a little lid. You can roll it on so you're not getting it all over your hands. And then you pop the little, no, it's not in this one, but there's a little cap that goes on there, and you use that cap to rub it into the body. This is something you can stick in your backpack, in your handbag or whatever, and transport with you. And you can use it whenever you're traveling around and getting the aches and pains through the body. And that's the beauty and the difference between using the cream, fantastic as a massage to rub it on. This is something that you can put through the back as we're going along. Okay, now I know people that have rolled their ankles, got an injury in the ankle area, and you've got a lot of nerves around that foot area. This can also work well with that. So I'm not saying you can only just use it in this section. You can use it further down. Okay, now as we come further up the body, we now get to the past tense. Probably my fave, in the fact that it's easy to use because it's just a little roller bottle. Now, what is the difference between the past tense and the ice blue? Now, pretty much the same oils as what's in our ice blue. Doesn't have the blue tansy, and it doesn't have the helichrysum. Now, why would I say we want to use past tense up here? Because the helichrysum holds the blood flow in that area, whereas the past tense doesn't have the helichrysum in there. And we want blood flow around the neck area. We want that blood to keep flowing because most time, as I mentioned earlier, you're sitting at the computer, your head's tilting forward, you're wanting that blood flow to get up into the brain. And you're wanting that blood flow to come through and actually help relieve that stress and that pain that is in the back of the neck. Okay, so here we have our wintergreen, our peppermint, starts with C. I can't think of the name of it. Sorry, camphor, not camphor. Caraway in here.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all going to stimulate and get blood flowing through that neck and shoulder area. Now, I also use it in my arms if I get a bit of carpal tunnel issue. I like to rub it in my arms as well because I'm wanting that blood flow happening in my arms. Another good one, also, if you get cramps in your legs, you can roll it in there too. But the best thing is that fits in your bag quite easily. You can just quickly roll it on. It's actually in my center console in my car because it's got the peppermint in it, bit of a wake me up. You're driving along, you're sitting at the traffic lights, you go, you know, and keeps the body all going. And that's the beauty of the past tense. I believe this is an underestimated oil. This is one that you need to have in your bag. And I believe in America, they're actually bringing it out in a stick like this very shortly. So it'll be interesting to see when that comes out. But past tense is one of my faves. Now, that's looking at a massage for somebody that's overworked and underpaid, and you want to use all of those sort of oils. But then what happens when somebody comes in and goes, I've just had the worst day. I just need to relax and have a massage. And this is where my other favorite oil comes into place, which is the Aroma Touch. The Aroma Touch is a nice, gentle, relaxing oil just to help the body slow down. Okay, it's a really, really nice oil. And this is where we talk about the Aroma Touch technique. And this is what I like to teach and educate people on, is how you can actually get that connection happening with somebody who's come to you. I've had a stressed out day. We're talking about Movember at the moment. You guys get stressed as well, and you can put them on the table, have no idea what you're doing. You can roll a bit of Aroma Touch over them and just get them to relax. You can do it in the hand as well. You can, there's 1, 2, 3 areas in the palm of the hand. and you can just take their hand and massage it into their hand. And that's where the Aroma Touch comes in. Getting that connection back. Here in Victoria, where we're doing this presentation at the moment, is in Victoria. You've had the lockdowns, the longest lockdowns in the world. People want that connection back, and that's where the Aroma Touch comes into play. It's just a nice oil to do. Now, inflammation is the other one. People get the aches and pains in their hips and their buttocks, lower back, all of those sorts of things. And this is where probably the cheapest oil that we've got, I think it's only about $20 for a bottle, lemongrass. Smells absolutely amazing. It's Australian oil. And this is an anti-inflammatory oil. So if you've got inflammation through the body, and this is another presentation that we talk about, is inflammation is the host for things like cancer. If you can get rid of inflammation throughout the body, you're not making a host for it. So when you've got inflammation, this is where I love to bring in the lemongrass and the marjoram. Marjoram are the two fantastic oils that go really well with your frankincense and with your oregano. Massaging those three through the body breaks down that inflammation. Okay, so when you start looking at what oil should I use, you can use just about any of them. It's not like you can't go, I can only use that there and I can only use that there. These will fit throughout the body. But when you go, I want to put something specially or specifically to that part of the body, that's when you can go, okay, what do I use here? What do I use there? Okay, so that's just a really quick rundown on where they are. Salicylates, we brought up a few times. Salicylates is what they copied to make things like aspirin. So when you start looking at what are we using it for, that's what we're looking at, is salicylates in the Ice Blue rub, obviously in the Ice Blue bottle. It's in the stick, and it's also in the roller bottle. So when people say to me, oh, I take aspirin because I've got blood clots or these sorts of things, you're fairly safe using these. If you've had a mitral valve of the heart replaced, then it's probably a good idea to talk to your doctor before you actually start using salicylates. But pretty much your frankincense should be fine, your lemongrass, your marjoram should be fine. Alrighty, so I've gone through that fairly quickly. Have we got any questions on any of those sorts of things? Because for those that are on the screen, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people in the room here. Yeah, so I'll, if you would like, you can take yourself off mute and ask any questions. Whilst you're taking yourself off mute, Fiona's got a question here.
With the marjoram and the lemongrass, it's they're specifically good for ligaments and tendons, right?
That's right.
And then nurse, but what do? Do they if you've got an injury, because we know when we have if we roll our ankle or something like that with a tendon and a ligament, they don't normally
tend to tear.
Yeah. Tend to tear, or they won't go back to the way they were originally once you've rolled them.
That's right.
So with lemongrass and marjoram, do they help strengthen them, or what do they do?
It's more takes out so that fluid that builds up around it to protect it.
Yeah.
As it starts to heal, it'll help with getting that fluid pressure down, that pressure that's on there.
Yeah.
I would also encourage you to look at frankincense to go with that, though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because I did a comparison once with those two and things like Physio Cream and Voltaren. And Voltaren and Physio Cream, sure, they may help for a little bit, but they've got lots of synthetics, whereas these guys actually continue to really nurture and strengthen the ligaments and tendons. I think that's what I found. So that's really great to know.
Yep. Good. How do we go on the screen there? Do we have any questions from the screen before we go back to the audience?
You want to give them that one?
Yeah, sorry, did you have
I've got an injury.
you've got an injury? Yeah.
I've got an injury. It's really inflamed. It's been like that for a couple of months. And I haven't got much movement in it. Would that sort of help?
Well, you can only try it and see if that can help. But you're saying it's still swollen after the
It's
injury.
still swollen after 2 months.
Right. We might have a look after we get finished on the screen here. Yeah.
I had trigger thumb for really quite badly, and I experimented with some of the oils, and I found the one that worked best for me was turmeric.
It was the turmeric, yes.
Turmeric oil.
So the actual oil, yeah. See, that's something we normally talk about internally is the turmeric. But certainly turmeric is something that I've heard a lot of people with knee issues struggling with.
Combined with ice blue
Yep.
over the knee.
Yep. So putting the turmeric on first, then putting the ice blue cream over the top can be really good for knees, carpal tunnel, and elbow, tennis elbow. Is something that can possibly work quite well with it. Yeah. The ginger, haven't had a lot of success around the ginger because it's the bite from the ginger isn't in the oil as much as, so if you try tasting the ginger oil, it hasn't got that real bite that ginger has, and I can't think of the name of the chemical that's in that. That tends to be more what they find to help with that, whereas when you're taking that in the digestion, the gut health, it's much more mild on the gut taking it, and that's why when you're using the oil, it's much more mild on the gut than what the pieces of ginger are. So, yeah.
Because you see all of these health books, and they say, oh, turmeric and ginger and lemon, and put that together and this together, and so if I mean, we've obviously got different combinations of oils to work with the gut, but could you put like in a veggie cap some turmeric and some ginger and some lemon in? Would that help with inflammation?
Quite possibly. Yeah. Yeah. So helping you metabolize it for sure. Yeah. Now, as I did talk about copaiba being in the oil, you can actually get that in a capsule form as well to take as well, and that's in another class that we actually do. So, alrighty. I might just pause the recording now for those that don't want to be on the recording, and then we can